Some say he's the best there ever was at Kaizer Chiefs. He's coached them with 2 spells, won 9 domestic cups with them, and of course won the Africa Cup with Kaizer Chiefs as well before moving on to Ajax Cape Town, where he went there and won silverware as well. We now see him resurfacing all the way in Mpumalanga with the Black Aces. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce my guest for the evening, Muhsin Ertugral. Coach, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
We've been waiting for you. We've been wanting you to come to the show. We're so happy to have you. Let me ask you first. You saw the 2 coaches earlier. You got to talk to them earlier. What do you think? What's your word of advice to the 2 young coaches that are going to be at the derby? You know the pressure of the derby.
I think they should just enjoy that atmosphere. This is one of the best derbies in the world. Fantastic, sold out. What you can expect more? I mean, this is such a unique event, I think, and they should just enjoy it.
Do you miss it?
Oh, sure. I mean, to be involved in so many derbies, I think we all missed this atmosphere. This is a fantastic occasion for South African football, also for the boys to show the talent.
I mean, you say you're involved with so many amazing derbies, but I'm sure one that will stay in your mind for a very long time is the Ellis Park disaster. You were the coach at Kaizer Chiefs when that went down.
Yeah, it is just very sad memories on that. It was such a vibe before the game. Both teams were playing for the championship, and obviously in all we want to make that happen, that we could bring the time back and we could solve this problem, because I think no fan should die anywhere in professional football.
But coach, what do you remember? Because you're sitting on the bench. So Vilakazi just scored that opener of a goal. When did you realize that something is wrong?
We scored the first, we went 1-0 up, and then they equalized, and then I saw sometimes Brian Baloyi making some head gestures, and I asked Steve Komphela, was on the time my assistant, and I asked Steve, what is he saying? And then we get the message that some people have, some fans have passed away, and that was immediately, we said, immediately has to be cut down and the game has to be stopped. And then obviously then we heard the sad story of how many people actually passed away.
April 11.
May the souls rest in peace.
We'll never forget April 11, the Ellis Park disaster. You say Steve Komphela was your assistant then. He's now the head coach at Kaizer Chiefs. What do you think?
Actually great. In all those years you see that actually he was also in Turkey. Know Steve very well from my...
You guys speak Turkish together?
Yeah, we had such a fun time with Kaizer Chiefs. We used to speak to each other. Also when we faced each other, when he was in Maritzburg, I was in Ajax. So we used to swear each other in Turkish on the field. Well, that was very nice. I mean, he's a great coach. He has made himself the ranks up, and he deserves to have the chance. And hopefully the fans can be also... You must also understand that Chiefs won the title. And you cannot every year win the title. So they need to be a little bit more patient, give him also the time to settle.
Coach, I know you're a coach now with a different team, and we're going to get into that and your new duties. But, I mean, when you speak about Kaizer Chiefs, when you speak about Muhsin Ertugral, I said it on my Twitter that you are here, and everybody wanted to know, 2000-2001, you're challenging for the league, and then boom, Jabu Pulo, Patrick Mbutu happened to you. Do you remember that?
Of course, I remember that. That was one of our key games. We had the Free State Stars game to play. And I asked also the president, Mr. Mutaung, and phoned him and said, do you know where they are? He says to me, you should know. We're on the camp. And so we couldn't find them. So we had from 18 players only 16. And actually that was a sad story. We lost on that day. I don't want to make it up that we lost because of them, but they were really key players on that time. And I must also say that Jabu, in all those coaching years what I have been in 3 continents coaching also very big clubs, he was actually the most talented player what I ever come across with. And I think it's sad that he could not. I took him also with me to Austria. Yeah. And he had...
what happened in Austria? Because, I mean, we read back home of what happened on the highway, in the car, but, I mean, what happened in Austria? This is the man that you've said was so talented, he could have played for Man United.
I think so, yeah. He has such a talent. A lot of people have forgotten his possibility. I mean, I have always, immediately comes the Coca-Cola Cup final in my mind, where we played Jomo Cosmos, and on that day, everybody was saying that Cosmos gonna beat us, and we beat them 5-0. And one of them instrumental players on that day was definitely Jawi Scott too. And we took him to me in Austria. I remember the first 10 games. From the 10 games, he had 6 times the man of the match, man of the week in Austria. And obviously then sad stories when I left the club started behind, and the jealousy came up from certain players and set him up. Everybody knows his background, that he was a little bit sidekick on alcohol. And again that happened, and then in the end they cancelled his contract. It was a sad story to read that in the newspapers. I already have resigned because they had arguments with the president.
Do you still have a relationship with him?
Sure. Panterspor called me last year to come back to the club, but as you know, that the sad story of my family, I was in Turkey and couldn't come back to football for 1.5 years. And I was also thinking of to come back to South Africa.
Well, you're back in South Africa, coach, and you're with Aces. And you get to Aces, you sign a contract to play in the PSL, and then what happens?
Yeah, actually I was with FIFA. You guys know that I'm in the technical committee for TSG, Technical Study Group. And every World Cups, I'm especially youth World Cups, I'm involved. Mm. And I was in New Zealand and prepared actually after New Zealand to come back to South Africa, and heard that our chairman called me in the first day and said that is on the table, that could be, the club could be sold, and there is an offer. But obviously knowing a little bit the background, that 2007 similar situation happened in Spain, and FIFA refused it. Mm. And actually the PSL, the chairman and the board has taken the right decision, because if a team is get relegated, you can't just buy the status up. This is not possible. Buying a club that is possible with the name, with the brand, from some, that's a possible thing. But I think it was a wise decision. It protected the integrity of that. PSL is actually well marketed.
So you were never worried at any point that this was going to happen? You knew it wasn't going to happen?
The problem was only, we were just in the camp at that time, and some names came up from my players that they should join Amazulu, and I spoke to them and relaxed the boys a little bit, and I knew that in the end we're preparing for the PSL.
Because I remember I spoke to you on my radio show on Radio 2000 between 6 and 7 every day, and you were saying you were the most vocal of anybody at Aces. Yeah. You know, the chairman wasn't speaking, the players weren't speaking, but you were very comfortable in speaking. That's because you knew it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, it was very clearly for me, and we have a good marketing part of the PSL. So that product of PSL should that integrity should be protected, and that happened actually.
You've lost some of your key players. You've lost Doro, you've lost Kalinge. At Aces, you need to patch up. Are you looking for players, and is there anybody that you're looking at?
Yeah, the club has last year came to a point that they had more than 35 players in the squad. I don't believe in that. Immediately when we had the talk to come back to South Africa, I said, for myself, a manageable squad is very important. You don't need to have 30 players. For us, 23 players, plus I think 3 or 4 goalkeepers. That's fully enough for us. And we promoted 4 or 5 youngsters. We have one 16-year-old boy in there, which is, I believe, one of the great talents. And then with that additional, the foreigners has to be better. And we're looking in 3 positions still for foreigners. 1 striker, 1 centre-back, maybe behind us an offensive midfielder.
Coach, I know a lot of coaches would like to say that they don't get a mandate from the club as to how to go about the season. But is there a mandate for you? Is there an achievement point that you need to reach in order for you to be a successful coach? Have they said to you, please get top 8, or please, be top 4, or just don't get relegated?
Yeah, look, in the last years, I think we want to get that grey shell out of us. We want to be, let me say, a team who plays a certain type of football, and attract people to come to the stadium, and bring a lot of youth into it. There is no mandate at all. I put a mandate on myself. I would love to see the team in the top 8. We all love that as coaches, but there will only be 8. We have three contenders for the championship this year, and then we have I think another 3 which will be in that level. So already then 2 spaces going to be free actually, which other teams going to fight for, and hopefully we will one of them.
Muhsin Ertugral, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, you saw the Kaizer Chiefs and you saw the Orlando Pirates, and I know a lot of fans, and you remarked on it as well. There is no Willard Katsande in the middle of that Kaizer Chiefs. What do you make of that?
Yeah, these type of players are actually not sometimes not very well loved by the supporters, but they are the pillars of coaches and the pillars of the team. The moment when the team loses the ball, you are 2 components. When you lose the ball, the team needs players like Katsande, and it's a very, very vital and important role in the Chiefs lineup. I could not understand that he's not there. It will be backfire maybe.
Coach, we wish you the very best of luck with your season, and we want to see you again right here on Sport at 10. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you. Thank you.